Imagine a love story, but not one from a fairy tale. This is a story born from the crucible of impossible circumstances. A love that blossomed where no one expected it to, defying every barrier, every judgment, and every logical reason it shouldn't exist. For Anya and Liam, their path to forever wasn't paved with roses, but with thorns, whispered doubts, and the crushing weight of external forces determined to keep them apart. She was from one world, he from another, separated not just by miles, but by deeply ingrained traditions, societal expectations, and a conflict that threatened to engulf everything they held dear. Their connection was instantaneous, a spark in the most unlikely of places. But from that very first moment, they knew their love was forbidden, a rebellion against everything their families, their cultures, even their entire communities stood for. Every stolen glance, every secret meeting, every whispered word of affection was fraught with danger. They faced ostracization, disownment, and the constant threat being torn apart. The world seemed to conspire against them, screaming that their love was impossible, impractical, and ultimately doomed to fail. How do you hold on to something so fragile, yet so fierce, when everyone around you demands you let go? But what if? True love isn't about convenience or conformity, but about courage. What if, when two souls are destined to be together, the universe itself finds a way to bend the rules? This is the extraordinary, heart-wrenching, and ultimately triumphant story of Anya and Liam. It's a testament to the unyielding power of love that refuses to be extinguished, the quiet strength found in unwavering commitment, and the incredible journey of how two people, against every conceivable odd, fought for their right to be together, and in doing so, not only built a life, but reshaped their own worlds. Prepare to be deeply moved, because this is a heartfelt chronicle about a love story that truly defied all odds. Anya grew up in a vibrant, close-knit community in Queens, New York. Her family, immigrants from a small village in Eastern Europe, held fast to their traditions. Family was everything. Arranged marriages were common, and loyalty to their heritage was paramount. Anya was expected to marry within her community, to a man chosen by her elders, a path laid out for her since childhood. She was bright, ambitious, studying nursing, but the weight of expectation was a constant companion, a gilded cage she knew she was destined to inhabit. Her world was rich in culture, but rigid in its boundaries. Liam, on the other hand, was born and raised in a different part of the same city, in a bustling neighborhood with a strong Irish-American identity. His family, though generations removed from Ireland, still celebrated their roots fiercely. Liam was a musician, a talented guitarist with a wanderer's soul, dreaming of world tours and artistic freedom. His family valued tradition, but allowed for more individual pursuits. He was expected to find a good Irish Catholic girl, settle down, and continue the family legacy. His world was open, but held its own unspoken rules. Their paths, it seemed, were designed never to cross. Yet fate has a peculiar way of weaving threads. It was a scorching summer day in July. Anya was on her way to her internship at a local community clinic, rushing as always to be on time. The subway car was packed, stifling. She clutched her bag, trying to avoid eye contact, a habit ingrained from years of navigating crowded public spaces. Liam was in the same subway car, guitar case propped against his leg, heading to a gig in a small jazz club downtown. He hated the summer heat, but loved the city's pulse. He was sketching a new melody in his head, lost in his own musical world. The train lurched violently, unexpectedly. Anya, standing near the door, lost her balance. She stumbled, nearly falling, when a hand shot out, steadying her arm. She looked up, heart pounding, into the clearest blue eyes she had ever seen. Liam. He was tall, with unruly brown hair and a kind, apologetic smile. "Whoa, careful there," he said, his voice a low, melodic rumble. "Thank you," Anya managed, her cheeks flushing. Her hand lingered on his arm for a moment longer than necessary. Their eyes met, and in that fleeting instant, the bustling subway car faded away. There was just them. A spark, undeniable and immediate, ignited between them. It was a connection so potent, it felt like an electric current. The train smoothed out its ride, and the moment passed. Liam quickly pulled his hand back, a polite awkwardness settling between them. Anya straightened, feeling a strange mix of embarrassment and exhilaration. She quickly looked away, trying to compose herself, her heart still racing. When the train pulled into her stop, she quickly gathered her belongings. As she pushed through the exiting crowd, she risked one last glance. Liam was still standing, there, his eyes on her, a faint, curious smile playing on his lips. She exited the train, feeling a pull she had never experienced before, a magnetic force drawing her back to those blue eyes. She dismissed it as a momentary attraction, a fleeting spark. She had a life, a future, a path already chosen for her. But a seed had been planted, a melody had begun to play in her heart that she knew, instinctively, would be impossible to forget. That single encounter haunted them both. Anya couldn't get Liam's clear blue eyes out of her mind. Liam found himself thinking about the quick flash of her smile, the way her hair framed her face. He didn't even know her name. He just knew he had to find her. He returned to that subway line, day after day, for weeks, hoping for another glimpse. Anya, meanwhile, tried to push the memory away. It was foolish. She had responsibilities, traditions to uphold, but her heart felt restless, unsatisfied with the path laid out before her. Their paths finally crossed again, not on a train, but by pure chance, near a small park where Liam sometimes busked. Anya, on her way home from the clinic, heard the soulful notes of a guitar. She stopped, drawn in by the melody, a familiar yearning stirring within her. It was Liam. He was playing a melancholic, beautiful tune that resonated deep within her soul. He looked up, and their eyes met again. This time, there was no escaping the recognition. "Hey," Liam said, his guitar falling silent. "It's you." From the subway, Anya felt her cheeks flush. "Yes, it's me." They talked for hours that day, sitting on a park bench, the city humming around them. They discovered a shared love for art, for challenging conventional wisdom, for dreaming beyond their circumstances. Liam shared his musical ambitions. Anya spoke of her desire to heal and care for others. They found common ground in their quiet rebellions, their longing for something more. But as the sun began to set, the shadow of their separate worlds loomed. Large. "I don't think my family would understand," Anya confessed, her voice low. "My culture, it's very different. My parents have plans for me." Liam nodded, his gaze understanding. "I get it. Mine too, in their own way. Different kind of expectations, but just as strong." Despite the unspoken barriers, they started meeting. In secret. Stolen moments in quiet cafes, late-night walks in hidden city parks, whispered conversations over the phone when their families were asleep. Their love blossomed in the shadows, nurtured by shared vulnerabilities and a fierce, unspoken understanding. They were two rebels, finding solace and strength in each other. They spoke of their dreams, their fears, and the impossible love that was growing between them. They knew it was dangerous. They knew they were playing with fire, but the fire that burned between them was too strong to ignore. Anya would lie to her parents, inventing study groups or late shifts. Liam would tell his family he was at band practice. Each lie, though small, felt like a betrayal to the people they loved. But a necessary shield for the love they were building. They knew discovery meant catastrophe. Anya feared disownment, a loss of her identity, a life cut off from everything familiar. Liam worried about alienating his family, the silent disapproval that would follow. But their love, fragile yet resilient, felt like the only real thing in their lives. It was their sanctuary, their secret melody in a world that tried to silence them. They were betting everything on an impossible dream. The truth, as it always does, eventually found a way to surface. Anya's constant evasiveness, her quiet rebellion, began to raise suspicions within her family. Her mother, intuitive and traditional, started asking more pointed questions. Liam's long absences from family gatherings, his distant demeanor, also drew concern from his own side. The fragile bubble of their secret world was about to burst. It was Anya's cousin, a well-meaning but overly vigilant relative who finally saw them together in a bustling market. The news spread like wildfire through Anya's community. Girls from their family, seen with an outsider, a non-traditional boy, a musician. The outrage was immediate, fierce, and absolute. Anya was confronted by her parents in a scene she would never forget. Her father, usually stern but fair, was incandescent with rage. Her mother wept, her face etched with betrayal. They spoke of duty, of honor, of the family's reputation. "How could you do this, Anya?" her father roared. "After all we have sacrificed? After the life we planned for you? This boy, he will bring nothing but shame." Anya tried to explain, to make them understand the depth of her feelings, the connection she shared with Liam, but their minds were closed, blinded by tradition and fear. She was given an ultimatum: end it with Liam, commit to the arranged marriage they had planned, or be disowned, cut off from everything she knew. The threat hung heavy in the air, a sword poised over her very existence. Liam, too, faced the storm. His parents, though less outwardly furious, expressed their profound disappointment. "He's not for you, Liam," his mother pleaded, her eyes filled with tears. "You know our ways. You'll hurt yourself, and you'll hurt us." His father, a man of few words, simply said, "You choose your path, son. But if it leads away from us, don't expect us to follow." The silence from his family was almost worse than Anya's, a heavy weight of disapproval that threatened to crush his spirit. They were both facing the unthinkable, losing their families, their cultural identities, for the sake of a love that the world deemed impossible. The pressure was immense. Friends advised them to be practical, to choose the easier path. The loneliness of standing against everyone was immense. There were arguments, tears, moments of utter despair where they questioned everything. Was their love strong enough to withstand such a storm? Was it worth sacrificing everything for? One night, after a particularly brutal confrontation with her family, Anya called Liam, sobbing uncontrollably. "I don't know if I can do this," she choked out. "It's too much. I can't lose them. I can't." Liam, his own heart breaking, listened. He knew the weight she carried. He understood the profound fear of disownment. He had to make a choice: push her to stay or set her free. In that agonizing moment, he chose love, even if it meant letting her go. "Anya," he said softly, his voice raw with emotion, "I love you more than anything, but I won't ask you to choose between me and your family. If you need to walk away, I'll understand. I'll always love you." That raw honesty, that ultimate sacrifice, pierced through Anya's despair. She realized Liam wasn't just a partner. He was her soulmate, a man who loved her enough to give her the impossible choice, even if it broke him. In that instant, she made her decision. A decision rooted not in rebellion, but in truth. The next day, Anya made the hardest choice of her life. She stood before her family, tears in her eyes, but her voice steady. "I love you," she said, her gaze sweeping over each of their faces. "And I respect our traditions, but I cannot marry someone I don't love. My heart belongs to Liam, and if that means I cannot be part of this family, then I understand. But I choose him." The silence that followed was deafening. Her father looked at her with a cold, unforgiving stare. Her mother wept openly. The words were unspoken, but the message was clear. Anya was disowned. She walked out of her family home that day with little more than the clothes on her back, leaving behind everything she had ever known, every tie to her past. It was a shattering moment, but strangely, also a liberating one. She was choosing her own path, forging her own destiny. Liam was waiting for her. He had a small bag packed, a look of grim determination on his face. He'd made his own stand. He hadn't been disowned, but the cold silence from his family was a palpable weight. "If you choose her, Liam," his father had said, "don't expect our support. This is your bed. You lie in it." Together, they faced the world. They were young, heartbroken by the loss of their families, but fiercely determined to build a new one together. They found a tiny, run-down apartment. Liam played every gig he could find, and Anya quickly found work as a nursing assistant. They lived simply, often on ramen and cheap coffee, but their shared love, their shared sacrifice, fueled them. Every struggle they faced, every obstacle they overcame, only strengthened their bond. They learned to rely on each other, to find comfort in shared silence, to celebrate the smallest victories. Their love story wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt, of loneliness, of profound sadness for the families they had lost. But they never wavered in their commitment to each other. They found a new family in unexpected places. Liam's bandmates, who became their loyal friends. Anya's colleagues at the clinic, who offered support and kindness. And a diverse group of artists and free spirits who embraced their unconventional love. These new connections became their chosen tribe, their sanctuary in a world that had once seemed so hostile. Liam's music grew richer, infused with the depth of his experiences, the pain of loss, and the triumph of enduring love. Anya excelled in her nursing career, her empathy deepened by her own struggles, her kindness a beacon to her patients. They worked tirelessly, saving every penny, dreaming of a future where their love could be celebrated openly, without fear or judgment. Their tiny apartment, once a symbol of their sacrifice, became a vibrant home filled with music, art, and the quiet hum of enduring love. They were two souls, once adrift, now anchored firmly to each other, building a life not on borrowed dreams, but on unwavering love and fierce resilience. Years turned into decades. Anya and Liam built a beautiful life together. They married in a small, intimate ceremony, surrounded by their chosen family of friends. Liam's music found success. Anya became a highly respected nurse, eventually leading a major department. They had 2 children, a boy and a girl, who grew up in a home filled with love, understanding, and the quiet knowledge that family was a tapestry woven from many threads. Not just blood, but the unspoken pain of their fractured past lingered, a quiet ache in their hearts. They never spoke ill of their families, always explaining to their children the rich heritage they came from, even if it was a heritage they were partially estranged from. The turning point came subtly, as true healing often does. It began with Liam's mother. As she grew older, her resolve softened. She'd occasionally send a card, a small gift for the grandchildren. Liam would respond warmly, always leaving the door open. Then, a few years later, a phone call. His father, his voice gruff, but laced with a surprising tenderness, asked if they could visit. Liam wept with relief. The reconciliation was slow, awkward at first, filled with unspoken regrets, but eventually the warmth returned. His parents embraced Anya, marveling at the beautiful family they had built. They saw not a rebellion, but a profound enduring love. Anya's reconciliation was even more dramatic. Her mother, softened by age and illness, began to send secret messages through distant relatives, expressing regret, a longing for her daughter. Anya, still deeply wounded by the disownment, hesitated, but Liam, ever her anchor, encouraged her. "Your mother misses you, Anya. Love is stronger than pride." One day, Anya received a cryptic message. Her mother was gravely ill. Without hesitation, Anya flew back to Queens. She walked into her childhood home, a place she hadn't seen in decades, and found her mother frail, but her eyes filled with an overwhelming love. There were no harsh words, no recriminations, just tears and a lifetime of unspoken apologies conveyed in a single tearful embrace. Anya's mother, on her deathbed, whispered, "My daughter, I was wrong. Your love, it was true. Forgive me." Anya held her mother's hand, offering forgiveness, finding peace in the bittersweet reunion. Her father, older, grayer, his face etched with regret, watched silently. In the quiet aftermath, he offered Anya a single nod, a silent acknowledgement of the strength of her love. It wasn't full reconciliation with her entire community, but it was a profound beginning, a mending of the most important bond. Anya and Liam's love story became a legend, whispered not just in their own home, but among those who knew their journey. It wasn't a story of defying odds to gain fame or fortune, but to gain the most precious of treasures, the right to love freely, to build a family on their own terms, and to ultimately heal the wounds of the past. Their children, seeing the strength of their parents' love, understood that real family isn't about rigid rules, but about open hearts. Their lives are a testament to the belief that love, true love, is an indomitable force. It doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't bend to external pressures, and it certainly doesn't adhere to expectations. It simply exists, pure and powerful, carving its own path, even through the most impenetrable barriers. And when it finds its true form, it can not only transform two lives, but also inspire a ripple effect of understanding, acceptance, and reconciliation in the very worlds that once tried to tear it apart. Their story reminds us that love, in its purest form, always finds a way to light up even the darkest corners, to heal the deepest wounds, and to defy all odds. If Anya and Liam's extraordinary love story resonated with you, if it reaffirmed your belief in the power of enduring love and overcoming adversity, please take a moment to like this video. Your likes help us share these powerful stories of human connection and resilience with more people who need to hear them. And if you're moved by true tales of the human spirit, unbreakable bonds, and life's beautiful complexities, be sure to subscribe to Heartfelt Chronicles. We bring you inspiring stories every week that remind us of the extraordinary power of love. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another journey with us. Have you ever witnessed or been part of a love story that truly defied all odds? Or perhaps a bond that overcame immense challenges? Share your heartwarming experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Let's celebrate the extraordinary nature of love. Thank you for watching. And remember, true love isn't just a feeling. It's a profound act of courage that can reshape worlds. See you in the next Chronicle.